BJP government, Narendra Modi government, year after year, has failed to hold anybody accountable, has failed to seek any responsibility, fix any responsibility on anybody, has failed to punish a single politician or a single government official, or as today a very senior editor in this country tweeted, to put the blame on the system and saying that what can Modi do, what can the ministry do when the system is creating a problem. Now let us understand what that system is, and I'll try to explain that this system is nothing but the system created by Narendra Modi and his government. Now it is no more Muslims, it is no more Congress party people, it is no more people who seek accountability. He was a young under 18 student, a Hindu student, a student by same surname who was called Pakistani. This cycle of divisiveness of BJP has come a full circle now. Huge money is made out of this entire coaching industry, entire NTA industry, and entire examination industry. So they are not working for students of this country. They are working for vendors, they are working for coaching mafia, and they are working for people who belong to their families.
So are you saying that the solution lies in dismantling NBA, in dismantling the coaching, this entire coaching ecosystem which has flourished? Do you think that the solution lies there, and is it going to be that easy if you have to dismantle a system which is running and thriving for so many years?
It has to be dismantled in coming years. Congress party will have to do it.
Hello and a warm welcome to HW News Network, your one-stop show, truth be told, for some engaging and thought-provoking conversations. Now, first it was NEET paper leaks, then the CBSE controversy, and now we are hearing all reports across the country of technical glitches as far as the CUET exams are concerned. I want to put out a picture of the notices which were pasted outside the CUET examination centers today, and if you can have it played out, the kind of notice which was pasted outside the centers which were conducting the CUT exams. So there were technical glitches which happened, and those glitches happened at the behest of what TCS had been holding up. But we will be today discussing the larger issues around this education mess, and also the politics of contract culture, which is very, very important to discuss. Now, we've had several students like Nisarg Adhikari, then the latest example is that of Sarthak Siddhant, who has come out with various revelations. They have investigated, they have found out how the tenders were floated, and finally, what we see is a real education mess for which we do not have answers. We don't even know whether there will be any accountability. Now, this is the notice which I was talking about. This is the notice which was pasted outside the CUET centers. There was complete mayhem across various cities today when in the morning the students went to give their exam. But I'm going to rest the CUET as of now, because the larger controversy around the NEET exam and the CBSE's OSM scam is something to discuss, because students are anxious. No one knows what are the answers. But where is the real problem? If the students can find out the answers themselves, they can investigate as to what the real problem is, then why can't the government do? Now, I want to put out a tweet by Rahul Gandhi, which clearly, because he interacted with a number of NEET students, and this is what he said. If you can put out what he said, and I'm just going to read that. One thing became absolutely clear during my meeting with NEET students. India's youth no longer trusts Narendra Modi. They told me question papers are being openly sold on WhatsApp and Telegram. They know the prices at which they are being sold, who's buying them, how the mafia operates. All this is known to these kids. They had just one question. If we know this, why doesn't the government and the institutions? The truth is, these kids understand better than the government itself how this rotten system can be fixed. And on the other hand, how shameful it is that the army, whose job it is to protect the country from enemies, is today being deployed by the Modi government to save children's papers from its own corruption. Patchwork fixes won't cut it anymore. The entire examination system will have to be rebuilt from scratch in collaboration with students, teachers, and experts. We can't lose any more children, and we can't leave even one generation's future in the hands of this corrupt system. So, what we are looking at is, or rather, what we are staring at is a very, very desperate situation. How we'll rehaul the system, how are we going to make corrections, we don't know. But we'll try and discuss all these problems. How can one make corrections to the mess which we are observing? Joining me this evening is Congress admin in charge, CWC member Gurdeep Sappal. Gurdeep has been writing about these issues uh, on a wide scale, and he's given a various interviews on across the TV channels where he's been speaking aggressively on issues like these. Gurdeep, thank you so much for joining. But my first question is that we've been speaking about overhauling the entire education system for last many days, but nobody has an answer as to how it's going to be done. And I'm going to begin with the dirty contract culture which has engulfed the education mess. Now, how does one do away with this contract culture when people who are connected to the ruling party, they are the ones who are perpetrating all this mess?
Well, I'll come to that these questions later. As we speak today, and as the people are students are agitated for last week 10 days, today there was a exam of CUET, and again there were technical glitches. In last 10 days, we have seen needs leakage, we have seen the OSM crisis in CBSE marking, we have seen the SSC GD paper leak, and we have now seen the CUET crashing, system crashing. Why is it happening? These are all linked. When there's a hue and cry, when students have committed suicides in last 10 days, today again a crisis comes up. 1 crore students have been at the receiving end. And this is not that India never knew how to conduct examination. I want to first underline, you said how to do it. Well, in India, there have been public examinations ever since we became independent. There was UPSC examinations, there were SSC examinations, there were banking examinations, there have been engineering examinations, there have been boards examinations, there have been medical examinations. There was a confidence and a trust in the fairness of these examinations. Yeah, there were stray paper leaks even then also. There's a difference. Now, whenever such leaks happen, A, the effort is to put the blame on certain individuals, or as today a very senior editor in this country tweeted, to put the blame on the system, and saying that what can Modi do, what can the ministry do when the system is creating a problem. Now let us understand what that system is, and I'll try to explain that this system is nothing but the system created by Narendra Modi and his government. First thing, why nobody gets any punishment? SSC GD paper got leaked this year. SSC paper got leaked last year. SSC paper also got leaked in 2018. 2018, when it got leaked, there was a CBI inquiry. Till date, no government official has been punished. I'm talking 8 years from now. 2025, the paper leak happened. A CBI inquiry was initiated. Till now, nobody has been punished. Another SSC examination has happened. In matter of NEET, in 2024, an inquiry was instituted. And the person who was Director General of NEET was later rewarded by BJP, and he is the Chief Secretary to the Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, the BJP Chief Minister. So, person who was supposed to be held accountable has been rewarded. So, number one, as Rajnath Singh once told to this nation, that in this Modi government nobody is held accountable. कोई इस्तीफे यहाँ नहीं होते. So they allow things to happen, they allow the storm to be blown over, and then they go back to same old things, and now things are piling up. That is my first thing. There was a system in this country, they have destroyed that system. And how they have destroyed, if you ask me questions, I'll explain to you. But my first answer is that BJP government, Narendra Modi government, year after year has failed to hold anybody accountable, has failed to seek any responsibility, fix any responsibility on anybody, has failed to punish a single politician or a single government official. A stray here and there down the ladder, some people are charge sheeted, but the entire system keeps on going, rolling as it was, and paper leaks keep on happening.
Gurdeep, we don't have answers actually. It's such a desperate situation. Now, today I
Now we
was
have answers.
no, but the government is not ready to give answers. How does one deal with a
Well, well,
situation?
well.
Have a government which is totally impervious. They don't want to speak about it, except for the fact that Dharmendra Pradhan, who's the education minister, he comes up, he admits his mistakes, and then he goes away. And today also, there were how this entire lot of BJP, say for example, Dharmendra Pradhan's daughter, she's in US, and her guardian was someone who's related to this mess. Now, how do you get out of this situation? How do you convince the students?
Well, this is wrong to say that we don't have answers. Yes, what you meant was that BJP government is not giving any answers. I agree to that.
Yeah, that's what.
You see, what BJP today, as I again repeat, a very senior editor and a news channel owner, he said that system ki garbadi hai. Now let us understand what is this system. This system is not the old system which prevailed in this country before Modi government. This is a new system which has been created by Modi government. Before Modi government, there was a realization that you need an agency to conduct examinations because huge changes are taking place in technology, where the communication is now very simple, where Bluetooth technologies, scanning technologies are all pervasive. So you need a system. So there was a committee of 7 IIT directors, Professor Acharya committee. It gave recommendations. Let us have an agency which should be modeled like UPSC. It should be a statutory body. It should be created by an act of parliament. It should be an all-powerful body. It should have its own staff, its own technology, and its own institutional mechanism. This was the recommendation. But the system created by Modi government threw away this recommendation, and they created NTA, and they created NTA as a society. Now, what is the difference between a statutory body and a society? The statutory body has all the powers, but it is audited. CAG audits it. It is covered under RTI. It's all financials, its all activities are open to public scrutiny. But here you have a society which cannot be audited by CAG. There's no audit of NTA. NTA is not covered by RTI. It's a private society. And now NTA, whenever a sensitive work is done globally, the model is that you develop capabilities within an organization, and that organization carries out sensitive work with its own staff, so that there's no leakage. That is, you develop capacity and you keep it in house so that there is no leakage. But what Modi government did, it created an NTA which has very little permanent staff, so it outsources every work. Every work is given on contract. They do not have in-house staff for designing papers. They do not have in-house staff for psychometry, how to develop questions. They do not have any staff for transportation of papers. They do not have any staff for data protection. They do not have any system for allocation of centers. Everything is awarded to petty vendors. So BJP government, Modi government created NTA and created a system where people close to BJP get these contracts. And when you give contracts over a large number of people, there are leakages which are now possible, and that is why they are not able to control. They may call Air Force, they may call Indian Army for one day, but the problem is the system they have created. And they've consciously created a system for two reasons. One reason is to give contracts to their own people and make money. Make money. Today, NTA is sitting on a surplus fund of more than 440 crore rupees. But NTA is conducting examinations in halls where even ACs are not working because they do not pay for air conditioning. In sweltering heat, students are taking papers, sweating, but NTA is not paying for even this. But they have a huge sum of money, and this money is being shared with petty vendors who most of them are linked or have connections with the BJP party and their people. That is one thing. Other is also to benefit the students of their choice. And uh, last year in Maharashtra, there was a state common entrance test for engineering and technology. Students who got 100 percentile in entrance examination, and this is public data, they had scored 40 to 50%, 51% in their 12th examination in PCM. How on the earth can 50% of the students scoring 100% percentile be scoring less than 50% in state examination? Is it possible? So somebody is helping those students. They are not good students. They are not getting marks in state examination in PCM, but they're getting 100 percentile, 99.99 percentile in entrance test. So somebody is facilitating it. So this is the system they have created, which is facilitating this. This is a system which is there in everywhere, be it NEET, be it CUT, be it anything. And this
But
system
I
is
want to
one created by
understand from
Modi
you.
government.
No, you're right, but I want to understand from you that when you don't see the courts also coming up with with a very encouraging response, who is going to take this system to task? You have a prime minister who's totally apathetic. He's not bothered to talk to the students. He's not bothered to talk to the parents. He's neither bothered to address the problems, except for what we hear that Prime Minister Modi is now monitoring the situation himself. And then you have big TV channel owners who are trying to isolate Prime Minister Modi with the systemic problems. What I want to understand from you is, who is the person, according to you? You've been in the bureaucratic system for a very long time. You've been part of the UPA government also. If this kind of a situation would have arisen, I'm not saying it was, if it was a situation like this during the UPA rules, what could have been the first step? I want to understand what the solution can be to the problem
Okay.
which is existing right now.
Let me ask the same question differently. Why do we have ministers? When we have a bureaucracy, we have IAS, we have IRS, we have technical staff, we have subject experts. So why do you need a minister in a ministry? The role of minister is precisely to formulate policies and see that those policies are executed well and be accountable to people of India. Otherwise, you don't need a minister. No? The secretary can run. So here, a wrong policy was formulated. Instead of a statutory body, a society in form of NTA was created. Here, a wrong policy was adopted, and a wrong dubious company was given OSM contract. Here, a wrong policy was adopted, and all those problems which have been coming up over the years, repeated leakages, and and non-punishment of government officials and rewarding of NTA DG. These are all policy decisions. So, if these are policy decisions, then who should be accountable for this? It is the minister. That is the system in our democracy. Otherwise, you don't need a minister. So, the minister has to answer it. He has to take accountability,
No, so when you say,
and his head has to roll. He has to
of course,
resign. And
there is
if
no doubt
Narendra
about
Modi
that.
does not seek his resignation, today he's being trolled. Young students of 16, 17, 18 years are making memes of our prime minister. They are doing the investigative journalism. They are coming up uh, with all the loopholes that exist in the system, and these are the students. They Narendra Modi, his government, and his ministers are playing with fire. They are playing with Gen Z's fire, and it's a word of caution to them. You cannot destroy the careers of 1 crore student in 10 days be it NEET students, be it CUET, be it SSC, or be it CBSE. If you are playing with fire and if you do not seek accountability, this volcano will erupt. Be aware of this volcano.
But Gurdeep, what I was trying to ask you is that this government has never believed in accountability. Have we ever seen any resignation in the past? But now to insist, of course, you're right that Dharmendra Pradhan doesn't have the moral fiber to stay on his post for not even a second. But the point is that every day, every second or the third day, he comes out and gives sound bites saying that yes, there are incompetencies in the system we are trying to address, but there is no timeline to it, and neither is the Prime Minister addressing to that timeline that look, the time is running out, students are waiting, class 12 students are waiting for their college admissions to happen, we don't have any timeline, no assurance given from the government side. So what do you do then? What is the option left?
You see, BJP government and Narendra Modi government is not bothered about accountability because they have divided the society. They have divided the society along communal lines. They have divided the society against anybody who seeks accountability, call them Tukre Tukre gang, call them urban Naxal, target Muslims, and they're getting votes on the basis of this. So far, this was helping them. But now, this entire division has spilled over. If I may recall that young boy whose surname happened to be Srivastav, when he raised the question, he was called Pakistani, and this time by a fellow surname anchor. So now it is no more Muslims. It is no more Congress party people. It is no more people who seek accountability. He was a young under 18 student, a Hindu student, a student by same surname who was called Pakistani. This cycle of divisiveness of BJP has come a full circle now. And mind my word, now people are realizing that if this can happen, a government which is unchecked, a government which has no control over its actions, a government which is not accountable, will not only harm Muslims or opposition parties, it will come and harm you and your children's careers. It is your children's career which is at stake now. And these are people who have voted for, many of them would have voted for the Narendra Modi government. So this democracy has a mechanism of fixing accountability. They may brazen it out, but this is not going to end here. So let us not be pessimistic. The same people, the same people who venerated, who were so appreciative of Narendra Modi, are now discovering that when a simple thing as on the screen marking is being awarded to a company, you change the parameters of the tender thrice, and you award it to a company which is blacklisted for a similar crime. And when this is exposed and raised, and when the students, many of them committed suicides, and lakhs are under depression, they are paying money, they are going through that tension, and CBSE principals are being asked to make reels and ask their students to make reels that everything is good. So now the target is no more Muslims. It is your children who voted for Modi government. Now they are realizing that this is not a mistake by anybody. It's a design by Modi government to demolish our education system. And
Right.
these people, I have faith in democracy. These people will hold them to accountable.
No, but it's a weird situation, Gurdeep, and I'm sure there would be many, many BJP workers, BJP ministers, though I haven't seen that list, but I'm sure many of their children would be facing the same situation. But I haven't seen any BJP leader come out and say that, look, this was the problem because of which my children are suffering. Do you think that the many of the BJP leaders are quiet, even if they're facing this situation?
BJP leaders will not speak anything till they find somebody in opposition or a Muslim as a scapegoat. That's the pattern Narendra Modi has set up in the last few years. We are not concerned about that. The country knows about it. Issue is very simple. They have they have demolished the education system in this country. For the first time in the history of independent India, the entire education is privatized. The students are paying huge fees. Middle class, poor class people are paying are cutting on all the expenditure, taking educational loans. selling their land, selling their properties just to educate their students because the fees are so high. And in return, only one third of students are getting employment. And even those are, most of them are getting employed at a rate of 12,000 to 26,000 rupees per month. For the first time, people are becoming poorer by getting educated because the money you invested in fee is not getting recovered through jobs. For the first time, the entire system is so demolished that any student, howsoever bright he or she may be, cannot buy a house anywhere in this country out of their salaries now. No youngster below the age of 25 can buy a house out of their salary, even on EMIs. This is the system Narendra Modi government has made. He has made education privatized. He has compromised on the entire system of evaluation. It's now it's now a system which has no accountability, and people who are suffering are the normal middle class poor students. Their futures are not at stake because Narendra Modi chose to have a education system in this country where fair evaluation will not happen, where fair testing will not happen, where the fees is so high that people are becoming poorer and poorer by educating their children. This is the country they have created, and this
Gurdeep,
is the result. This is the system that we want to talk about.
It was heartening to see Rahul Gandhi supporting and also aligning himself with Sarthak Siddhant, the kind of revelations he came out with and how the rules were circumvented. And he came out with the entire chain of steps, or the rather, I would call missteps, which happened in this entire OSM contract. But what is the opposition party, and if I may ask your party only, that what is Congress planning to do now? There is so much of anger, there is so much of frustration on the ground, which is seen. But what are the opposition parties planning? Of course, it's a good step. It's an enlightening thing to see that Rahul Gandhi has committed himself towards the children. He's speaking to them. But what beyond that? Because this is not concentrated in few pockets. It's a pan India problem. How does an opposition party like yours plan to take it forward now?
Well, let me remind you first, this is not a new problem. Let us recall what happened in Vyapam in Madhya Pradesh. An entire recruitment system for government job was rigged by BJP. And so many journalists, so many whistleblowers lost their lives. Congress party fought it. And Congress party, when it won in Madhya Pradesh and it went after Vyapam people, our government was made to fall by defections. This was to save their people. So the BJP perfected model in Madhya Pradesh, and that model is being replicated all over. But what Rahul Gandhi is doing, he is number one raising awareness that this is not a mistake. This is a system created by Narendra Modi, which is now taking their entire careers to ransom. That is first thing. Second thing, the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Education, which is headed by Mr. Digvijay Singh, the senior Congress leader, has called for a meeting on first, and it has summoned the officers of CBSE and NTA, and it will probe into it. But as Rahul ji has been saying over the years, the youngsters have to realize a nation is not about government. A nation is about its institutions. Modi government has completely demolished all institutions, right from election commission, right from courts, right up to CBSE and NTAs and others, SSCs. When the institutions are demolished, it is not just the political parties who do not have a fair play ground. It is a common student of 16, 17, 18 year old also. He or she is also losing that equal opportunity in this country. It's a question of awareness. In a democracy, a political party can do only when it is empowered by people of India. We have been raising issue in Congress party. Rahul ji and Congress President Kharge ji and other leaders have been raising this issue. But ultimately, it is up to the people of India to empower Congress party, empower Rahul Gandhi to set things right. And this is not a dream that we are showing. When Congress party came to power in 1947 and 1950, when the first elections happened, after that, the system that was created was an impartial system. That was the system that we have created in this country. There was no complaint from anybody. I
Let
am
me
not
just
talking.
interrupt you,
So
Gurdeep.
your question is not what a switch can be switched on and off and there'll be a solution. No. In democracy, we have to revisit this fact that Narendra Modi government has demolished institutions, and that is why people are suffering. Narendra Modi government is awarding contracts to its own people. It has taken up over all the resources in this country. It is promoting crony capitalism. And today, now, this cycle is coming to a full circle, and everyone, including those supporters and voters of Narendra Modi, are now suffering. So these people have to realize they have to empower the right political parties. They have to rally behind those parties. They have to ensure that who can run this country properly, who can redevelop these institutions, and who can bring the country back on trails, on rails.
Gurdeep,
Sorry.
I was talking to a few academicians, and in a very casual conversation, we just happened to discuss about the fact that whenever the institutions like these are demolished, you always have an end goal in mind. And what they feared was that what if CBS boards like CBSE or boards like ICSE boards, they are phased out, and Prime Minister Modi's government would try and bring their own manifestation of some kind of a board. Do you also sense this fear somewhere?
Well, they have brought the new education policy, and these boards are being controlled by them. Why do you need a new board when you have compromised the existing boards? Their end game is very simple. They do not want the common student of this country, common youth of this country to be educated. So they have made education so costly, and it is not just costly. You see, if you look around, you just revisit your families, and I request your viewers to just revisit their own families. In their families, there'll be people, दादा दादी होंगे, uncle aunties होंगे, parents होंगे. Those people, most of them may have studied in some small public school or government education, and they've cleared those competitive examinations without investing money in coaching because they didn't have money. Yet they were able to clear and build a beautiful careers out of those success. Today, Narendra Modi consciously has not just demolished the system of CBSE or NEET or medicals or JEE. They have done another sinister thing. They have overhauled the entire system, and now the entire system, despite a new education policy, is based on coaching. Any poor student without coaching cannot clear the competitive examination. It's a conscious thing to help coaching institutes. It's a 60,000 crore rupees industry today, and that is the GST paid. I'm not talking of the coaching industry which works on cash. It may be 2 or 3 times more. So we are talking over a lakh crore to 2 lakh crore rupees being spent by parents, by the students on coaching. So do you imagine today that
No, but
all
do you
those poor
think
people, no, let me, all those poor people in past generation who could clear competitive examinations, become engineers, become doctors, become bureaucrats, have a professional career without coaching, is it possible today? It is just not possible. They have created a system which is privatized, which has high fees, which is coaching centric. You cannot clear examination without coaching, and the entire system is bugged where paper leaks happen. Particular coaching centers, they allocate examination centers of choice. This has happened. They get question papers in advance. This has happened. Certain coaching centers, most of the students score full marks. It has happened. And the NTA design is created to help it because there's no audit of allocation of examination center. There's no audit of setting of question papers. There's no
no,
audit of
Gurdeep,
transportation. You have to
uh,
understand this is a full conspiracy. It's a full design created by Narendra Modi government that only some people get educated, only rich students can get, they who have money should get coaching and get the exams cleared. And money, huge money is made out of this entire coaching industry, entire NTA industry, and entire examination industry. So they're
so
not
do
working for students of this country.
no,
They are working for vendors, They're working for coaching mafia, and they're working for people who belong to their families.
So, are you saying that the solution lies in dismantling NDA, in dismantling the coaching, this entire coaching ecosystem which has flourished? Do you think that the solution lies there, and is it going to be that easy if you have to dismantle a system which is running for
It
and thriving for so many years?
it has to be dismantled in coming years. Congress party will have to do it. You
Okay,
cannot have this. You
that's a
cannot
big
have this
news point.
system.
That's a big
That
news point, Gurdeep, you've given.
you cannot have a system which is held ransom by people who are coaching mafias, who's held ransom by examination agencies who are accountable to none. It cannot be held it cannot be held ransom to those who are making money out of the careers of students, and students are suffering, committing suicides, going into depression. Their families are becoming poorer and poorer because they wanted a brighter future for their children. This
I'm
system
just,
cannot go on.
I'm just
It
repeating it
cannot
for
go
the sake
on.
of I'm repeating it for the sake of the viewers because you have given us a new point, a new big news point that if Congress comes back to power, you are going to dismantle the coaching ecosystem which has been thriving. Does it also mean, Gurdeep, that you will be dismantling the NTA and you will go back to the old traditional systems on which UPA and good education was thriving?
It's not about old system versus new system. Issue is education
I would
has to
rather
be
rephrase it, a
no.
trustworthy system.
I'll say education has to be a public good. Education has to be affordable. Education has to give fair and equal opportunity to everybody. Education cannot be an industry for coaching mafia. Education cannot be a system where selected few are favored either through paper leakages or through manipulation, and huge sums of money are made by people who are aligned to those in power.
No,
This
but
is
Gurdeep,
very
the
simple.
question is now there are Congress governments also. Education is a state subject. Would the Congress governments begin by dismantling these coaching institutes which have come up? There are coaching institutes in Telangana, in Himachal Pradesh, in Karnataka.
How can yeah, when the entire NEET and JEE structure is based on coaching, how can we dismantle the coaching institutes in our states and disallow those students to participate? That will be a double jeopardy. It will be an unfair thing to do. Issue is that this entire education model which Modi government has created in last 12 years, that has to go. It has to be revamped. This NTA has to go. People have to be held accountable, and the minister has to resign. These are simple things. You have to understand. These people are not just interested in education.
no, but so
BJP
far,
as a party is not interested in education,
no,
and
but so far,
that is why, like you live in whichever NCR area, tell me, has there been a single public university or a college in last 12 years during Modi government? Not a single college or university has opened which is public university, cheap education. You have private universities which are just shops without accountability, without quality, and huge fee. Do the poor of this country don't need to study? Or do the parents have to shell out all their savings, all their assets just to ensure that their kids get studied? And after studies, this is what they face: a system which will not fairly evaluate their kids' performance. So this is a system which has to be dismantled. Education has to be public good. Education has been the biggest enabler in independent India. Centuries of chains, shackles were broken because of education. Poorest of poor in villages, in cities, got educated and became upwardly mobile. This is modern India, not what Narendra Modi government has created now. That only rich can study, only coaching institutes will prosper, and only their friends will get contracts.
no, but do you see a beginning somewhere of a big movement or some sort of a revolution? If you can see, I don't know how the political parties will be taking it up. What we have read is that 6th June is a day when India Alliance is planning to meet up, and obviously this is the biggest issue right now. So, how do you plan to take it forward? What Congress was doing, you have already elaborated what you started with doing in Madhya Pradesh, what Digvijay Singh is going to be doing on 1st June, but what beyond that?
Well, we are in a democracy, Nilu. Political parties are not the only stakeholders in democracy. People of India are also the stakeholders. It is people of India also who have to decide whether they want to continue with divisive policies of Modi government or they want to fight for their rights. It is people of India. You see our manifesto into 2024. We contested the Lok Sabha election, but nobody talked about them. So the youngsters have to realize that they have to come out of this propaganda, this government of the propaganda, for the propaganda, and by the propaganda of Modi government. They have to realize that their careers are on, future is on stake. They have to realize this, that this is not the country which they deserve. They deserve a better nation, a better country, which gives them a fair chance to succeed. So it is not only about political parties. Congress party's vision is clear. It is before people. But they have to realize that if you are being governed through social media reels, then these reels will be prepared and foisted upon you when paper leaks happen and schools are being forced to, to issue reels saying that everything is fine, nothing wrong has happened. This the young generation has to understand, the young generation has to realize, and people of country have to realize. Divisive policy in the end will singe, will burn every single section of this society, including the core supporters of BJP, including the core supporters of Narendra Modi, everybody, because they are common citizens at the end of the day. They deserve a better India, they deserve an equal opportunity. And it is the job of the government to give that. And Narendra Modi government has failed in doing that. Symptoms were there earlier. I told from Vyapam till today, nobody was held accountable. People got killed, people died. There were cases, no punishment. After the storm settles, they quietly rehabilitate the same very people who were supposed to be held accountable. No minister is held accountable. No government official is punished. This is not the country that you deserve. So you
Well,
have to speak up.
yeah.
You have to speak up. Congress party will fight, Rahul Gandhi will fight, but the power comes from people of India. Political parties have no power on their own. You have to understand that. The power comes from people. If people are willing to fight for their own space and for their careers, they'll not find Congress party wanting on this account. They'll not
Uh,
find Rahul Gandhi shying away from his responsibility.
No, those are reassuring words. But one last question before I wind up, Gurdeep, that looking at the attitude of the present government, whether it is Prime Minister, whether it is the Education Minister, or for that matter, any minister in the BJP government, do you think that rather than addressing the gaps in the system, rather than addressing the loopholes in the system, the efforts are concentrated more towards protecting the Prime Minister? Are you also having a feeling like that? What we saw
Your
on
question is again not correct. There are no loops, there are no gaps in the system. The system is designed in a way that benefits BJP and its friends. And they have to protect this system because it's a system consciously designed by Narendra Modi government against the recommendations of expert committees. It's a system which was designed to ensure that no accountability can be fixed. It's a system that was designed to ensure that there's no CAG audit. It was a system designed to ensure that no RTI will be applicable on this. It's a system designed to ensure that there will be no institutional wisdom of the NTA, but all the work will be outsourced, given in contracts to petty vendors throughout India. It was a system which was designed. There's no loophole, there's no gap. The entire system itself was designed in a particular manner. That is why we say कि बोया पेड़ बबूल का तो आम कहां से हुए. You have planted a babul tree, you cannot expect mangoes from it. This is so it's a system consciously with due deliberation created by Narendra Modi government, and now they are being forced to defend it, and that is why they don't seek accountability because the person who is at fault is not some government official or not some lone mm, person leaking the paper. These are the people who took a policy decision to design a system which went against the statutory bodies, which did not empower the system, only to ensure that there were leakages, there were contracts, and there were undue benefits to friends and the kids of their friends. That is why you have a system
But when undue benefit,
where students get 45% in class 12th, but 100% percentile, 100 percentile in entrance test. It was a system which was designed to deliver this.
no, you're right that the system only ends up benefiting the people in the BJP, the people who are related to BJP. So, will it be foolish or rather foolhardy to expect that BJP is going to press the delete button on this particular system, what we are criticizing left, right, and center, because it's
No,
bad? The cracks have opened up.
they will not do it. They'll defend it to last bit. So they will defend it by various means, by propaganda of issuing reels from principals, or by asking Air Force to carry examination papers. These are optics to ensure that the real evaluation, real accountability seeking does not happen, because they have to protect this system which they have created for their own benefit. This is this government will not overhaul this system, because this is not by fluke or by mistake. They created an education system which is only for rich, which is only for education mafia, which is only for private universities, which is only for coaching mafia, and which is only for vendors who benefit out of lakhs and lakhs of students appearing for the examinations. It's a conscious decision by BJP government. They are not going to revisit it. They are not going to overhaul it. They are only going to put band-aid on a cancer wound. That is all. But
I'm really tempted.
this cancer is a result of their policy, and that is why we are asking for the resignation of the minister.
One quick question before I wind up the show, and I'm really tempted to ask that question. That we keep saying that Modi government is a government which is seeped in fanaticism, and they are trying as much as they want, and they want to come up with that domineering approach with everything. I was reading somewhere. China also has a system of these Gaokao exams, which are their most precious exams, very difficult, and they conduct those exams under the surveillance of their armed forces, where it's almost like similar what we saw Prime Minister Modi almost saying that the exams will be conducted with the help of the armed forces. Do you see a dangerous precedent where all the other exams might be conducted with the help of the armed forces, trying to bring in a system which is like in China? I also remember having read that once upon a time, I think Musharraf also brought in a system where few exams were held with the help of the armed forces. Are we seeing a dangerous precedent like that?
Well, this use of armed forces is only headline management. It has nothing to do with good practices. Gaokao is a system in China, but this is not a coaching centric system. It's a subjective system where you have to write essays. It's not an on screen marking system of multiple choice questions. So there's no, you cannot compare oranges and apples. If they do not have a society, unaccountable society, unaudited society conducting Gaokao examinations, they have a fully empowered body. What Modi government has done is that they have created a society which is not accountable. I will again repeat, which cannot be audited. What whom it engages is not known to anybody. What recommendation it followed from Supreme Court still is not known to the nation. It's an opaque body which works on contract basis throughout everything. Psychometry is contracted, paper setting is contracted, the data security is contracted, the allocation of centers is contracted, the transportation of papers is contracted. So now you just do an optics of using the armed forces, and you think that all these problems will go away. You have to look at the core of the problem. So Gao Kao is a wrong example to give. The example is that you have created a system on every level. It's a system against the students, expensive education, B, coaching mafia, C, paper leakage. All this has been designed in a manner which is only to benefit vendors, which is only to benefit private universities, which is only to benefit contract mafias. It is only about money. And in this case, this is a blood money of the students. This is what they're looking at.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Gurdeep, for joining on HW News. Thank you.
Thank you.